The last set of items we want to talk about, they are called aggregation over time, because basically they are just the aggregation operators plus an over time. For example, average turns to AVG over time. And what it does is that basically it returns the average of all the items in a range vector. So we know that average AVG works on an instant vector. If you have a range vector, you can use AVG underline over underline time. For sum, instead of just saying sum, if you have a range vector, you have to say sum over time. For min, to get the minimum value, you have to say min over time if you don't have an instant vector and you have a range vector. And for maximum value in a range vector, you have to say max over time. And for number of items in a range vector, you have to say count over time. We also have standard deviation, std_dev over time, standard variation, std_var over time, and all the other statistical operators, they exist and you can use them as over time. So in Prometheus, if I remove timestamp and keep just the metric name, this is an instant vector, and on this I can use AVG. Now if I apply a time range, for example 2 hours, I will get errors. So because that 2 hours turns my instant vectors to a range vector, I have to say AVG over time, and then it gets the average of every item, every unique metric. So if I say, for example, I want the average of anything that its CPU is 0, we just apply this, and then it just groups it with CPU 0 and the other labels, and then it gives you the average.